Alright, so today we're gonna try to configure this switch. First, when you come here to this area, you see all these different stuffs. You have the router, the switch, what's its hub, wireless device, and security, and all this blah blah blah. Let's just click on the switch. And what is it? I like this 2960. Put it here. Okay. When you scroll the mouse on it like this, it shows you all the properties in it: device name, switch 0, custom device model 2960 iOS 15, host name, switch, and all these different ports. But when you click on it, then you have this boom. Yeah, in the physical world, this is actually how it looks like. Let's just zoom in. You have all the ports, you know, zoom, original size. So this is how this device look in the original wall. Alright, then you have more configuring things out here. But this is what we are interested in, where we can actually do the configuration. So today we're just gonna try to make a VLAN, and before that just so a couple of how to call it basic commands that you would need in this workspace. So let's get into it. So first, when you put the switch on, this is where it brings you to. You have all this, especially the first time of configuration. It have all these things it telling you about the device name, model, serial number, all this kind of stuff. And then you have the switch, the name of it shows here. So now we are dealing with switch. Now it shows the name here, switch. So what we want to do is like press enter a couple of times just to verify where we are. So we are in the exit mode actually, and this is switch. So what we can do next is go to privilege mode. Sorry about that. Let's just put enable, enter. Now we are in privilege mode. How do you know that? This switch name here has this greater than sign. That shows that you are in exit mode. But now this greater than sign changed to hash sign, which means we are in how to call it privilege mode. So as you can see, if you enter, then just to verify where we are, this is just a brief thing of confirming things before you start getting deeper into it. I just like playing tricks before I, get deeper into it. But even before that, sorry, I'm just gonna take you back to exit mode. So how you do that is just exit here. Now this this should end the thing, like if you just done everything and you are in privilege mode. If you exit, you just exit everything and come out here. But now I'm just gonna press enter again to get into the switch. There's a couple of commands that I wanna show before we pass this stage, which is if you wanna know what commands are available in this exit mode, what you can do is like you can tap enter and just put show and then question mark. Yes, when you put show and question mark, it shows you the available commands in this how to call it, in this mode. So basically these are the commands available for us in this mode. As you can see, they are not much, so you can do very limited stuff in here. So with that being said, let's just press enter again and let's go to enable mode, and let's do the same thing. Let's say show and then a question mark. As you can see, that actually starts here, but if I press the space bar, you can see this list is way bigger than the other list. Okay, let's just go to global configuration mode. Let's press enter again, and this says config the, and then enter. Now we are in global configuration mode. As you can see, you have this config here and then a hash. But before that, there is bracket close here and bracket is open in the beginning and then a hash. So this shows that you are in global configuration mode, and this is where most of the configuration take place. That I like to do also in the uh, privilege mode is, if I don't know the type of switch I'm dealing with, what's in the switch or what's not in the switch, all I do is I put show run just to see what we have running in this, if there is something in it or if it's empty, those kind of stuff. After we will come back to this after we make our configuration, so we can see what changes we have made. So first of all, when you show this, it shows you all these interfaces, like interface fast ethernet 0/1, 0/2, up to 24, because this switch has 24 ports in it, and then all this other stuff. So let's press enter and then show VLAN, since that's what we're going to be configuring. So now, as you can see, this is the number of ports, just like the one it shows before, but we are in the VLAN itself now. So what we're gonna do, as you can see, all these ports now are reserved for one, which is this default. So we have no specific VLAN, how to call it, here at the moment. So now let's get to work. Let's just press enter again and then go to configure the. So let's do this interface slash fast, and if you press the tab, it makes the auto compilation for you. And then we're gonna start with 0, let's say /1, and then enter, as you can see. So let's put switch port access VLAN 100. Okay, now the name of this VLAN is VLAN 100. That's how we're gonna name our VLAN. But now we don't have this VLAN 100 yet. But if I press enter, it's gonna say that this doesn't exist, but it's gonna create one. So let's just do it. Let's press enter. As you can see, access VLAN does not exist. Creating VLAN 100. Now it creates it. So what we're gonna do next is let's just how to call it, type the switch. So here's SOITCH switch port mode access, and then enter. So now there are faster ways to create VLAN. I'm just gonna create 5 ports for this VLAN 100, and then I'm gonna create another VLAN and make the other 5 ports to that VLAN. Let's call it 200, and then we're gonna create another one and call it 300. But what I wanna say is that there is a faster way where you can put from port 1 to 5 and put it to VLAN 100. But for beginners, I will just recommend doing this over and over again so that you can use to these commands, and then you can see how they come one after the other. It makes it much more easier. But if you press the arrow key up, it shows you the last commands that you use. So I'm just gonna use that and change this to 2 and enter, and then VLAN 100, and then what is the switch port access? Okay, and then you do this again and again for the VLAN 3, and then we accessing VLAN 100, and then switch mode access VLAN 3, and then let's change this to 4, and then VLAN 100, switch mode access, and then let's change this to 5, and then VLAN 100, and then switch mode access. Okay, so now we have this. So let's go to our second VLAN now. Let's put this to 6, and then enter, and then let's put this VLAN to 200. Now we are creating a new VLAN now. From port 1 to 5, it's dedicated to VLAN 100. So from 6 to 10, we're going to dedicate this to VLAN. Let's say it's 200, and press enter. As you can see here also, it says VLAN does not exist, but creating one. So any new VLAN that you created that doesn't exist before, it gives you this message. But then again, when you create it in the second time, it wouldn't give you that message because then it already exists. So now let's just continue with what we were doing. We already had the 6 with port access. Let's change this to 200 since we are dealing with the 200 now, and press enter, and then let's put this to switch mode access, and then let's put this to 7, and then yes, yeah, VLAN 200, and then switch mode access, and then let's put this to 8, let's put this to 200, enter, and then enter, let's put this to 9, enter, let's put 200, switch mode access, and let's put the last VLAN for this one, 10, which is gonna access VLAN 200, and then switch mode access. All right, so now we have this one done. Let's create our third VLAN now. So what we're gonna do is let's put this to 300 now. That's gonna be the third VLAN. As you can see, the same here. VLAN doesn't exist, but creating, then it creates a 300, and then you just do this again. Let's put this to 11. Access mode. So let's put this to 12. But VLAN now we accessing the 300, and then switch mode this, and then what was it again? Switch mode access. Let's put this to 13, and then VLAN 300, then switch mode access. Let's put this to 14, 300, and then switch mode access, and then the last VLAN for this, and then let's do this VLAN 300, and then switch mode access. Okay, so now we have created our three VLANs 100, 200, and 300. So what we want to do now is to exit from this mode and do this, and still we exit from this mode. But one thing also that I forget to do, like, it's usually when I just come to configure terminal, the global configuration mode, I used to, you need to change the switch and name it to the VLANs that you're working with. But I forget to change the name of the switch when we start. So now I exited to this mode. I think I can just change the name before we exit this mode again. So I will just put host name, and let's put, for example, test, and then press enter. Okay, so as you can see, the name of the switch here has changed from switch to test. So you can do this in the beginning when you just enter the global configuration mode. But since I forget to do that, now I just change it before I exit this mode, because I can only change that into the global configuration mode. But now when I exit, I cannot change that in the privilege mode. So I'm just gonna exit from here again. Now I'm in, how to call it? I'm in the privilege mode. I'm in the privilege mode. So the other thing that you also wanna do is this work that we just did, like creating all these VLANs. We wanna save them so that we don't lose it. So what we can do is like we can put copy running or copy run and tap, then it brings you this auto completion. But you have to add st here, copy running configuration startup. Okay, so it can copy this thing, like save it. So you're just gonna press enter and then it's gonna save it. It says building configuration here, and then it's okay. That is saved. So there are other ways also you can do this. You can just put write memory, which you can put write mem, and it will just do the same thing. As you can see, it says here building configuration, and then here it's okay. But if you're doing it in school for a test or whatever it is, the teachers prefer this. I think this write mem is so easy for them, so they want to be sure that you know what you're doing. So it's always recommended to write this one, copy running config, and then st startup. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is to show what we actually have in this suite now. What do we have in it? Like we did before. Let's put show run. Okay, and then we can see in the beginning, if you see, we don't have this here, but now we have our VLAN 100 to 5, and then let's put more, and from 6 to 10, no 9, we have our VLAN 200, and then from 10 to 15, we have our VLAN 300. Okay, so let's source the VLAN itself. So VLAN, enter. As you can see, like I've said before, we have all these ports reserved for default, but now not anymore. Now we have our VLANs. So VLAN 100 has its ports like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then VLAN 200 have 6, 7, 8, and 9, and VLAN 300 have, sorry, VLAN 300 have this. So that's actually how you create a VLAN on a switch. So I really like this packet tracer because this is how it actually goes if you work with a physical suite too. So get familiarized with these commands, and from there it should be way easier. So I'm just gonna exit from this mode, and then that's it.